So, as we look at these major themes or movements of the story of the Bible, we also see something else emerge about this story, and that is the idea of what's called progressive revelation. That God progressively reveals himself and reveals truth as the story unfolds. And so, as we read the Bible, it's important for us to remember this idea of progressive revelation, that God doesn't reveal everything in the very beginning of the story. He doesn't reveal everything to the covenantal family of Abraham. The story progresses as it goes, and it's culminated and fulfilled in the character and life of Jesus. And so, as we read this story, we want to think about how God is progressively revealing truth. This idea comes into play, especially as we read things in the Old Testament. Sometimes we have a struggle with, issues like war and slavery, and, why didn't God just outlaw slavery from the beginning? And if we understand the story of the Bible and the scriptures as a whole through this framework of progressive revelation, we see that God is leading humankind progressively revealing truth, human flourishing, that leads to, over time, these changes, like, for instance, in slavery, where, though the Old Testament didn't outright abolish or disapprove of slavery, there were seedlings of God's heart for human flourishing and human relationship, as, for instance, he instituted the nation of Israel to celebrate the year of Jubilee, where all debts were canceled, which was radical in the ancient world. No one had ever done that in any culture or society beforehand. And these were the seedlings that progress to produce, in God's heart and mind, the fruit of true human equality and love and compassion and sharing, and not oppression and violence and using other humans to get what you want. This is just one example of how we can see the nature of progressive revelation throughout the story of the Bible.